The Omnic Weekly. Welcome everyone, it is Sunday, May 12th, and this is episode 176 of the Omnic Weekly. I really mispronounced that word, or the number 176. Oh, that almost went really, really bad. I'm here with Frozen today, and we have a special guest. And that special guest, I love how you're rocking in the chair, I love it. And we have Valeria, the voice actor for, that was beautiful, that was beautiful. The voice actor of Venture. How are you doing?
Hello, hi. I'm good. It's a beautiful day. It's really the weather is really nice outside, so I'm happy.
Yeah, you're cheating a little bit. You live in Los Angeles. Like every day is a beautiful weather day.
Yeah, we do have a pretty good weather over here. To be fair, yeah.
Yeah, just to kind of me and Frozen. While I live in Belgium, Frozen lives in Germany, and we usually get 90% of the time it's raining and gray. So, but we are, I don't know how it is on your end, but right here it has been beautiful, Frozen. I don't know if you guys are.
It really has.
All right.
I mean, in general, the weather, the nights have been amazingly beautiful. Polar lights.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy they went like all the way.
Yes, yeah. The storm, right? The geomagnetic storm.
They
That's
were
really cool.
Gorgeous.
Did it actually hit? Did it get all the way to Los Angeles? Because we are kind of a little more north than you guys. Well, considerably more north in Europe than.
No, I'm not sure how far it got, but I heard that it was in Portland, which is like I don't know if Portland's right above us. I'm really bad with American topography. It got to America. I don't think it got to LA.
Okay. It was beautiful. Frozen had warned me about it, and I stayed up all night. And then, Jesus Christ, I just was looking at the sky and was like, "There's nothing. There's nothing." I was sending messages to Frozen. Frozen, you lied to me. There's nothing to see. She was like, "Pull out your camera, you silly old fart." And I was like, "All right, let's do this." I started taking pictures. It was just one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. It was glorious, just in my own backyard.
Have you ever seen that in real life before?
No,
that was the first time. I'm an old man. I've been a lot of places, but never seen it.
Like usually it doesn't go like so far south. Like usually it's just like in the upper latitudes. And I always wanted to go like, hey, visit my grandma, maybe see some northern lights in the winter because that's when you can see them the best. Up north, like northern Finland, Sweden, or even farther north. But like it has to be like very severe sun, like solar flares to appear. And like you can kind of predict it because once like the sun shoots off solar flares, it takes like 2 days to reach the Earth. And like I saw it on the morning, on the day. I was like, wait, and I like looked it out. I told everyone like you can't miss this. Like you have to like watch it because like it's a very unique thing. Like the last time it happened was 2005.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah, I'm
Very
glad
cool.
I saw it. I own Frozen for that one. That was a really beautiful thing, especially to see it there in tiny old Belgium in my backyard. On my wearing my slippers, that was beautiful. I don't have to go to Scandinavia at all. Yeah.
Aurora Borealis completely localized in my backyard. Yes.
Yes, but literally this time.
All right, but this is still an Overwatch podcast. Like I warned Valeria at the start that we sometimes tend to veer off on the podcast, and that we sometimes. But I don't want to kind of already in the first few minutes. You have been a very unique, how do you say it, entrance to the community in general. It has been beautiful to see how you kind of, because you were part of the community before. Like I watched your stream. I didn't tell you, but I watched your stream recently. I kind of was one of the funniest.
Wait, which one?
Where we were playing with poker and
Poker and the Zesties. Yeah, that was my okay, just FYI, my latest stream is for adults only, for whoever is watching. Yeah, that was interesting. Interesting first stream to watch, but thank you, I appreciate it.
But yeah, I could tell that we talked to a few voice actors, and there's always this moment where you ask them like stuff about the game and they just look really guilty and go, I actually don't play the game myself, but I know for a fact I've seen you play the game. But yeah, you kind of came in and brought this whole new thing, kind of a nice I don't know, fresh wind to the community in general, which was kind of nice to see. But other than, of course, the fact that you are the voice actor for Venture, there's not much that we know about you. So if you had to kind of, this is a crap ass question. You can hate me for it. It's fine. I can live with it. But like, if you had to kind of sum up yourself, or kind of, you had like 1 minute and someone with the elevator, you had to kind of tell them about yourself. Like, what would be like the pitch?
Oh God.
I know it's a crap question.
Myself? Hi, I'm Valeria Rodriguez. I'm 23 years old. I was born in Mexico. I lived in America for most of my life, but I did middle school in Mexico. So I've done school in both worlds, and I've kind of moved around a lot. So I'm great at picking up and making friends. I love fantasy and horror. I love D&D, role-playing games, board games. I'm a huge nerd. I like to role-play, and I like to tell stories. I love to draw. And I think. Were you like? I don't think you were timing it, but in my mind, I was like,
no. I can't. To be completely fair, I can't even count, so there's no use in me.
I think that would be the elevator pitch. Mostly, honestly, I think I forgot to say that I do voice acting, and I'm a voice actor. Yeah. Mostly, I was just like, I like to roleplay, I like to read. I was just giving you a list of what I like to do.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly why you fit into community so well, is because all the things that you kind of summed up. I was watching Frozen because I saw a lot of like similarities, and like their eyes kind of going, ooh, because that's exactly it.
Like, it's like more than 50% of the stuff you mentioned I love too. It's fun.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
You're an Overwatch player, not a stereotypical Overwatch player, because there's many different Overwatch players, but I can feel that you I see a lot of overlap with a lot of other people I know in the Overwatch community, and that is kind of beautiful. How did you get into voice acting? Because you're 23. I can't imagine that you've been doing it for 10 years. That would be impressive. That would be really young to start. But like, how did you roll into it? And why is there a tail behind you? That was really weird. I'm kind of worried about you. Do you have like some...
Oh my God.
Is there a snake kind of...
the snake.
Oh, an amazing snake. Wow. What's the name of this beautiful fluffy snake?
This snake right here?
Yeah.
This is Haku.
Aww. Hi.
I recognize that.
I'm not happy to be here.
I recognize that face. That is the face of, can you please set me down?
Yes, that is. I named him after Haku from Spirited Away.
Oh, nice.
That's beautiful.
Love that movie.
What was remind me of your question?
Yeah, no worries. Like, how did you get into voice acting just in general?
Right, yes. Yeah. To your credit, there are a few voice actors in the community who did start very young, like who did start when they were sometimes even as young as 5 years old, because if you ever hear like a kid's voice in something, well, that's a child voice actor. I a bit of an unorthodox story, funnily enough. Like a lot of the voiceover stories tend to be really different. There's just some floating cat hairs now.
That happens.
But I have a mentor. His name is Jamie Mortellaro. He's directed a few things, but the most notable that people would recognize is, I believe he directed Breath of the Wild.
Nice.
And some other, maybe Hitman, some other stuff. But he kind of like mentored me and took me under his wing. And what he would do for me was he would have me sit in on voiceover sessions and observe the voice actors doing their thing. And something that I really appreciated from him is that he didn't really ever like give me any handouts. Especially in my first 2 years before I got with my agency or even started auditioning, he would always send me auditions, which I thought was nice. I wasn't ready for them, but he would do that for me. And he would have me like observe a lot. So I like that he kind of, in a sense, did hold my hand and introduce me to a lot of people in the industry, but also let me work to get there and like practice through my own hard work and skill, which makes sense because I was a novice way back when. This was a while ago. I was like, maybe I was 16 or 15. I can't remember. Yeah. But yeah, and what he also did was he would recommend a lot of classes and that kind of thing. So for my first year in LA, when we first moved out here, it was all like watching, a lot of like just absorbing a lot of energy, a lot of workshops within the community where, like, for example, you go up and you read some copy and your peers critique you. So it was really good for me to get feedback and input from, you know, my peers or other people around me at different levels.
Yeah.
And yeah, honestly, like my first 2 years were just a lot of classes or like saving up for classes and kind of like working really hard to get to the place where maybe an agent might be interested in representing me. And then after I got with my current agent, the rest was history. Well, to be fair, my first year at Vox, which is my agency, I did not book a single thing. I must have auditioned hundreds of times. I didn't get a single role. And then the next year I booked my first role and it was just like, pew.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, everyone's story is really different, but that was kind of mine. Like I'm very, I must say I'm very privileged and very lucky that I had a mentor who took an interest in me. But at the same time, I appreciate that he didn't like completely hold my hand through it. Because I feel like that kind of instills in you a pretty solid like work ethic when you're forced to get things
find your
on
own path. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
You were to ask something, Frozen?
No.
Because I saw you saying something. No, what I do think what it helps, of course, is that it kind of it takes away the unknown. Like if you can watch other people do the work before you actually do it yourself, it kind of takes away all the stress of how does this work? What do I do next? What are my next steps? And I think that is actually a very smart way of dealing with anything. And I think persistence is one. Like just keep working at it. And if you're still doing it a year, 2 years in without even booking a gig or not even going to an audition in your first 2 years, that shows that you really have interest if you just kind of follow through. And I think that is an interesting way. Sadly, we don't always, a lot of people don't kind of take the time to do it that way, but that is, I think, very healthy. And that explains why you look at it the way you look at it, being 23 and kind of having this almost very professional look on it. So that is an interesting story. I like it.
Yeah,
I love the way that you kind of started laughing when I said professional, but that is in the end. I mean, like when I was 23, Valeria, to be very honest, I would not have taken it as professionally as you do. So I think that is.
Well, I'm very flattered. Thank you. It's very kind.
Yeah, no worries. I do know you. I mean, well, the first time I got to know about you was when we found out you were voicing Venture. But I've had people in my community telling me they also voiced this character in this game and they voiced this character in this game. Like there was a character in Genshin. I'm looking at Frozen. There.
Yeah, Sucrose. I saw you like when like it came out. I was like, wait, like sometimes the voice seems familiar. I don't know, like where do I know you from? And then I looked you up, and I was like, wait, no way, because the voices are like so different, but like it's crazy, like the range from this like very breathy, light character to Venture, who's like all in. It was just beautiful. But yeah, I had that like split moment of I know that voice from somewhere, but I don't know where.
Indeed, yeah, Sucrose is pretty different, and I'm glad you. That's funny you describe it that way. I could swear that's almost what was on the breakdown for the character. It was like something like
nice.
breathy light, something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much her. She's very breathy. Sucrose sessions are very difficult because sometimes they go for like 4 hours. And when I'm breathy the entire time, like by the end of the session, I'm like, I literally take big breaths and then I go for the lines and I start getting lightheaded. And
Oh no.
Just 1 second. They're like, take your time. I go, okay. And I go for like the next line.
Did you ever have to like sit down for a bit and just breathe?
I do. No, I really do. Funnily enough. Yeah.
I can see that. Like, I mean, some characters are like the more strength to it, but I don't know. I don't know if I've seen like any character like Sucrose before, and like. So I don't have her on my team, but like when I do have her on my team, I just have to switch to someone else because like it just feels like she's breathing in my ear sometimes.
All right.
It's just, of course, like
He's the ASMR character. What do you?
yeah, that's true though. It's like she is the ASMR. If you like ASMR, Sucro's main now.
Yeah, I need to Google this definitely because I have no idea what you got. I kind of imagine a little bit, but then okay.
I can show you sometimes. I have her in my games.
I'll definitely have to check that out
right now, but my voice is pretty crunchy, so I'm afraid it wouldn't come out.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'll Google it, and I know there's a few people in my community that play Genshin, so including person, they will gladly show me. How have you kind of experienced yourself? Like, how long have you been playing Overwatch? Let's kind of start with that question.
Oh gosh, yeah, I've gotten this question before. When did it come out? Was that 2017?
16, yeah.
16? Yeah. So I think pretty much right when it came out. It was maybe a month or two after it released. I was like, I really want this game, and I was like begging my mom for it. And eventually they got it for me. But yeah, it was pretty much right when it came out. I have this. I would have to find it, but on my old account, which was like, before I even thought about being a voice actor, that kind of thing. I have a post where I like doodled some Overwatch characters, and I was like, I'm so excited for this game. And it was really cool to find that. Like go through my account, I was like, I think I had posted about it, and I went back and like all those years ago. But yeah, right at launch, I've been through the loot boxes, Volskaya Industries, like all that stuff.
Did you ever see Bastion with the shield?
Funnily enough, even though I've been playing it for that long, I don't remember the shield for some reason.
Oh my god, Bastion!
I remember the forever turret mode.
Yeah.
I remember Reaper had like these orbs.
Yeah, that you had to pick up. Yeah.
It's like just come back. Yeah, the that like gave him life or something.
Yeah, to give him health.
And Torbjorn could pass out like armor, right? Yeah. Here's your armor. Like I remember that's like a voice line. I don't remember the shield. Weirdly enough.
I'm not 100% certain that it made it to the final release. I think they removed it before. It wasn't a beta. I think that I'm not 100% sure. It might have been released like 2 months after release. It might have been removed.
I mean, there were like videos on just Sebastian in the corner with his shield in front of him because the shield would move with him. And like the only way you could really kill him was play soldier and stand on top of him and shoot at him. Like that was kind of the only way to get him down. So it was kind of nuts.
It was Bastion, and I can't remember another character with a shield, but it was like two shields and Bastion shooting into like the little Volskaya like alcove behind the two shields, and they would just go and like go for it like that. So maybe it's better now.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like the new one. Maybe it's better now.
There's a lot of this stuff that people look back at and they were like, yeah, that was Overwatch 1. That was no. You kind of remember it wrong. Like mass res from Mercy, like all the Mercies hidden in little corners because they weren't doing anything. They didn't want to die because they wanted to have that big res coming in. So
I remember like multiple times in Volskaya, like the whole team would be dead, and then we would go, oh, and it was the Mercy had hidden and came to res the entire team.
That's I saw like a picture recently where like from Overwatch 1 where the BAB window was sandwiched between the Orisa shield and Sigma shield. And I was like, I don't miss that at all.
Yeah, that shit could be hell too. Yeah. But, you've been playing since the start, and then at some point there's a whole process, of course. You kind of do your thing, but you were drawing doodles back in 2016. Fast forward to 2024, and suddenly you're playing the game and your own voice is coming back at you.
Yeah.
How like I can't imagine. I saw Matilda react to Brigitte once because she played Overwatch before she actually did the voice too. Like, this is insane. Yeah. But I can't even imagine to be at that moment that you just hear your own voice coming back. Like, what did that do to you like the first time?
It was pretty surreal. Like, I don't know if I've fully processed it yet. But honestly, like the most insane moment was not the moment when I heard my voice in the game because I already knew that was coming for a long time. So I
that makes
always
sense.
had a little bit of time to get a little adjusted. It was when I booked it that like
I can imagine.
It blew my mind. Yeah. And I funnily enough, I didn't know about Matilda until we spoke, and I was like, wait, that's super cool. We have like very, very similar stories because we're both fans. It was I'd gotten the audition, and usually this goes for like any company at all. It doesn't have to be games; it can be commercial, whatever. They code name the audition, so it could be an audition for like Xbox, for example, but they're not going to say Xbox audition. They're going to say like I don't know, broccoli audition. They literally pick random words, and it was under code name, but it did say Blizzard, so I was like, okay. This is a Blizzard game. I did scream when I got the notification. I think that was my first Blizzard audition. I could be wrong, but I was like, oh my God, because I love Blizzard games.
Yeah.
And I started reading the breakdown, and it was all under like code names, and they were like, this is like this type of game, but all very vague. And I was like, right from the third, and I was like, this is Overwatch. This is Overwatch. Oh yeah, this is an audition for Overwatch, and I started freaking out because I was like, I gotta book this. Like, I have to. This is my shot. This is the chance that I've been waiting for to finally be in a Blizzard game. And I did my audition, and I listened back, and I was like, yeah, this is the one. I sent it in, and then like after everything had died down, I had listened back, and I was like, oh no. This sucks. I did a terrible job. And I was so upset for like, for like a whole week. I was like, oh my God, I completely messed up. This sucks. But then my agent called me, and they were like, they want to hear you again. You know, they want to do like a callback at the studio. So I went to the studio. Andrea Toyas had like patched in, and the way that most callbacks go is you usually read like new copy so they can hear if you're what they want. Yeah. And I did that, and I was like, I felt like it went really well. And then I think it was a month later or something like that, my agent called me and was like, you booked Overwatch. And I like fell to my knees. I like blew my voice out from how much I was going, yes. The craziest moment of my life so far. Absolutely. I
can imagine.
I mean, it's so funny that you know the game so well that even through just some voice lines and like you just feel the vibe of Overwatch. Because like it fits well with Venture too, because Venture like fits kind of like a glove in the game. Like they are so Overwatch, it hurts, but it's amazing. So it's kind of funny. Like you're at the lines like, oh my God, this is Overwatch. It's so cool.
Yeah. To be fair, I'm gonna say, to take some credit away from me, Blizzard only really has like a couple big franchises. So I was like, okay, this isn't like demonic, so it's not Diablo. This isn't fantasy, so it's not World of Warcraft. It's kind of like futuristic was one of the keywords or something like that. I was like, oh, okay. It was a little easy. Yeah.
How many futuristic games does Blizzard have? Well,
you never know.
And StarCraft,
Yeah, exactly. StarCraft, and they're working on something new, PvE. So who knows what they're cooking up? Who knows? But that would definitely, like, if anything Blizzard that is tied into futuristic, that would be my first thing too. But just to have that opportunity, I can also imagine the whole stress that comes with it, because if you don't know Overwatch, you don't know Blizzard, you'll just kind of see it as another edition. But as a fan, it just puts that much more pressure. And I also recognize the fact that once you do it and you send it in, that you listen back to it and your heart kind of sinks. Like you're just like, oh no, I could have done so much better. This kind of self doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
But you nailed it. And I think, no.
No, you did. I mean, apparently you did. You got the part, so you nailed it. Yeah.
No, I guess I did. Yeah. So it's so crazy. I still, still haven't processed it. For a while, I kept saying to my friends, I was like, guys, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm in a simulation. Like, this is too weird. Right?
Things can't go that well.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way.
It's gotta be a catch.
No, but it's real, and it's still so weird. I still have not processed it at all.
Yeah, I think you have to give yourself the credit in the sense that if I hear your story, everything that you've told us up till now is like this kind of almost manifesting of what you want to do next, and kind of this vision. And I presume there's like a whole other like story that is behind the scenes and whatnot, and that is nobody's business. But I can tell that you kind of had this thing that you wanted to do, that you're passionate about, that you enjoy, and that just shows that if you put in the energy, if you put in the time, if you're persistent enough and you just focus, you can get shit done. And that is a beautiful takeaway.
100%.
And like Frozen said, I do think like Venture fit in the roster perfectly. Also, the first time I heard her voice, I was charmed immediately because of the whole quirkiness of it. Like the way you added this one emote that I don't. There was that the moment the test weekend started was at the end of the April Fool's event. So the moment the April Fool's event ended, the test event for Venture started, and we were actually in the midst of a game. One of our teammates was playing Venture, and suddenly the googly eyes appeared on all the characters. Like
on one Venture too.
And we had the unique opportunity to see Venture with their googly eyes, and they did the high emote, like the one of the funniest high emotes in the whole game. And I swear I laughed so hard. I think
the eyes like went around.
I think everybody that was watching my streams went deaf because I was just bouldering like the last year because it was just so funny. Like that whole body when they did it with your voice.
Yeah. Wow.
That was a unique moment. I think very few, but it just fit so well, and it kind of, for me, kind of described what Venture is in the Overwatch roster. It's that character that is kind of quirky, kind of unique, kind of, I don't know how to explain it. Like,
energetic.
Yeah, it's more than that. It's just like this vibe around it that just makes me smile immediately. It's just
just you hear Venture and you know you're gonna have a good time. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, honestly, they remind me a lot of Tracer, to be fair.
Yeah, true.
Tracer was like that other, for me, like that kind of like happy, like, we're combating these evil forces, but gonna keep like positive energy, that kind of thing. But to be fair, Venture is just me like 5 or 6 years ago, before I started paying taxes and rent and groceries.
before life got to you.
Yeah, before I became an adult. Honestly, like, Venture is me before moving out of my parents' house, and finding out the real world. But they kind of are. They just have this very like childlike zest for life, and like, honestly, I believe they are 25 or 26 years old. I'm like, I think they have been through maybe like some harrowing things or that kind of thing, but they always keep their head up. And I think that's something that I try to emulate, even despite becoming an adult.
But I think that is beautiful. I
mean, that's inspiring, even like to have a character like that be still such of like the childish wonder and like the energy and like just so the unapologetic positivity that a lot of people like lose after a while. And to keep that even like approaching the 30s is kind of like inspiring.
Wait, what? We're approaching the 30s? Nice.
Them. Sure.
Adventures, yeah.
Adventurous,
honestly, they remind me a lot of, for anyone who hasn't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, I forget his name. He's the male lead. But
it's on my watch list, so I'm just going to shut up. I haven't seen it yet.
It's so good. I won't spoil it, but basically, one of his lines, one of his big lines was something like, I choose to be positive because I have to, kind of thing. So the crux of his character is that he's not naive or like joyful because he's like stupid or that kind of thing. He knows that the world is a difficult place, but his survival tactic is to be positive and to be happy. And that like blew my mind because because I was like, of course, like why wouldn't that be a survival tactic rather than be jaded and like be like, okay, I have to do this. Like he knows he could be that way. He's not stupid. He knows how the world works, but he's choosing to be happy because that is how he survives. And I thought that was a beautiful thing, by the way. Incredible movie. You should watch it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But that's how I see those kinds of characters is I don't think that they're naive to the cruelty of the world, but rather I think they choose to be happy because that's, you can choose one of two ways and why not choose the other one?
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. I mean, yeah, you'll feel better when you're happier than if you're miserable and kind of contemplating and always looking at life like it's not going your way and whatnot. I also feel like Venture has like one of the things that helps them to kind of stay that positive is that hyper focus on what you're doing. Like the in every single voice line, there's like a takeaway from something in the archaeological kind of like every discussion, everything is like there's this hyper focus, and I love that. I think it is because I don't know. We all have that part in us. I am a strong believer that everybody in the whole planet is on the spectrum, and that we all are
somewhere.
kind of, somewhere, and there's nobody that you can introduce me to that will say, all right, this person. No, everybody's on there, and we all kind of recognize that one part in us where we. Some people will hyper focus on stuff and kind of go for their passion and kind of dive into that and kind of get a lot of energy out of that. So I think that is the tone that Venture brings to the game. And by the way, I love that you just said like Venture is me 5 years ago. I really hope that you can latch onto that and keep that alive because that is, I mean, that Venture helps you to kind of do that and just voicing that character over the next few years will help you to kind of hold on to that because I think that is a very good property to have or something to have in your life in general, even in LA.
Yeah, that it's always sunny there. You can only be depressed with sun.
Only be happy. It's. I mean, honestly, and like, it helps. The voicing them is like a very exciting thing for me, because I can't remember what session this was, but I was in a session and we were talking about getting into character. Like, how do you get into character? Like, how did you get this? And because I was, one of the notes that they gave me was like, you sound so excited and all this. And I was like, well, it's because I'm very excited to be here. So I'm not acting. I'm just channeling my excited energy into the character. And that is literally what I did for my first session was like, usually to play someone who's so high energy for 4 hours straight is like really tiring. But I was so excited to be there that I was just like this the whole session. It was very easy. But yeah, I mean, there's ways to recapture that for sure. That almost like childlike joy and positivity. Honestly, for me, a lot of that is just engaging in things that make me happy as a child. So I'm starting to read again, or like play video games again, or watch anime, because life is short. We shouldn't say that's for children or whatever. Just do whatever you want. Do what makes you happy. If you're not hurting anyone, enjoy it.
Have people gatekeeping things like do what's fun for you. Like, oh my god, I happen to enjoy something that was originally made for kids, but it's surprisingly deep, and I actually really enjoy the characters. Shocking.
I mean, the thing about children's content, right? Except for Coco Melon, but most children's content. No shade, Coco Melon, but maybe a little bit.
Only tiny bit.
It's just a little thoughtless, but most children's content is, I mean, it is created by adults who are intelligent, who are good writers. So when you engage in content that's made for children, you're like, wait, this is kind of good, and then maybe you feel guilty or you want to hide it. It's like, that's silly because someone made this to be good. Someone was like, I need this show to be good so that children enjoy it, and it succeeds and it gets seasons and that kind of thing. So for me, it's very like, clear, like, oh yeah, of course children's content would be good because someone sat here and and wrote a script, and then they had an editor look at it, and then they had like multiple people go through the passes of the scripts, and then the script maybe was on its 5th revision and finally got recorded by professionals. So the way that children's media, content, games, whatever is made is no different than adult media. It's just that the stories are different, or the language might be a little bit different. So when you have stuff like Bluey, which is so poignant and so thoughtful and all that, I'm like not surprised at all. I'm not like, what? But it's a kid's show. I'm like, of course, yes, but it's all made by the same creatives in the field. So, but also even if it wasn't good, even if it is Cocomelon, enjoy it if that's what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Life is entirely too short to worry about what strangers on the internet say about you. So just
definitely.
Just go for it.
Yeah,
enjoy Cocomelon if you want to. Enjoy Bluey.
Cocomelon.
If you want to, we will only slightly judge, but you don't have to care about our judgment.
But that is exactly it. We will judge you, but you don't have to care, and you shouldn't. In fact, in fact, you should not care, and you should tell us to shut up.
Exactly.
That sounds like a good piece of advice. You were talking about Matilda earlier. Like I know that a lot of the voice actors kind of. That sense, Overwatch is really unique. Like the voice actors kind of tend to get together. Like they really have this connection. A part of them, not all of them. Have you met a lot of them in the last few months since you were revealed to be the voice of Venture?
I met Darren DePaul, who voices Reinhardt.
Oh, yes.
I met him at the studio. I was leaving a session for something, and he was entering a session for something, and Venture wasn't out yet. But I don't know if Blizzard's going to come out. Probably not, because most people know. But I was like, I'm going to tell him that it's me. Because I won't get in trouble, right? Like,
he's a colleague, he's a peer, yeah.
Exactly, like we're on the cast together. Surely it's fine if I tell him. And Venture was like a month away from releasing, so I was like, I'm gonna do it. And I was like, hey Darren, like it's so good to see you again. It's so nice to meet you again. Because I met him maybe like 5 years ago at a convention. So I met him as a fan. I didn't meet him as a colleague. So first of all, this was my first time meeting him again as a colleague because we were at the same studio recording for the same thing. But I was like, can I talk to you? And he was like, of course. And I explained that we had met, and he was very sweet. He's so, so nice. And then I was like, I am Venture. I'm the character. And he was like, and he was so sweet. He was like, welcome to the family. And he like shook my hand, and then he said some really, really, really nice things. But I was like, oh shit, he's a very, this is going to sound weird. Do you know when you like meet like a deep human being?
Yeah.
Like you have thoughts in your head. Like there's not an echo, and you are like very, you know what I mean? So I felt that way with him, and I was like, oh, this is a very intelligent and a caring gentleman. So I met him. I met Tarbjorn, Keith Silverstein.
Nice.
I met him outside a cafe, and
oh really?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I knew he was there.
Okay.
Someone was like, Keith's over here. Do you want to say hi? So I went over there.
Of course.
We took a video together. And then I realized that I said something kind of spoilery. Venture is out. Venture is out. But I reached out to the writer and I was like, hey, like I know Venture's out now. So there's a lot that's out. But I took this video with Keith, but I said this in the video. Like, is that voice line out yet? And she was like, let me check. And she was like, but we don't really, that voice line isn't out yet. And we haven't talked about that yet. So I was like, So I have a video with Keith Silverstein that I have not released yet because I'm an idiot who said a spoiler in the video.
Well, you can hold on to it. Like, when it comes. Yeah, exactly.
As soon as I see that video, I know that voice line is out.
And the voice line's out, yeah. I think that's... Anjali, who voices Symmetra, we planned and we met up and we had breakfast together. And we also took a video, but she said she would release it on her account. So I don't think she's released it yet, but I'm also not going to go into detail about that in case she wanted to keep that kind of like a surprise for her audience. But so I've met 3 in person. I met Matthew Mercer a long time ago. It was as a fan. I was getting something signed by him. So I have yet to meet him again as a colleague.
I mean, if you love D&D before, even you're gonna love him to bits.
I know.
But like, he's amazing. So I get that.
Let's see if I have the book here. Maybe not. I got a long time ago. I got my D&D books signed by him.
Oh,
so my Dungeon
That's
Master
so cool.
Guide, my Player's Handbook, all have Matthew Mercer signed on them.
Oh my god,
Nice.
that's so cool. Oh my god, it's amazing.
Well, there's still plenty of people to meet, but I think you'll fit in perfectly. I mean, it is. I think it's one of the most fun casts, and I don't know. It's not like I know a lot of other casts, to be honest, but I feel like the people that we have talked to, the people that we have met, they all are so generous and so nice and warm, and I completely understand what you said about Darren Paul. Like it's just something. The selection process at Blizzard, the way that they kind of cast their people is very unique, and they do a really good job at that. So and it opens opportunities. It definitely is going to lead to a lot of other stuff. So that is really awesome.
I mean, I don't know. Everyone I've met 2 people, including you, but like everyone has been so lovely. And like from the podcast or every time I see videos, like everyone, like the synergy is so amazing between everyone.
Better be. Yeah. Let me know if anyone's ever rude. I'll have a word.
No.
Ooh, okay.
We know the rude ones. We don't invite those. I have no idea who that would be.
Almost didn't get invited, but you know.
Let Venture bonk them.
I did blackmail you,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I really was going to say something. I need to get a hold of those pictures that everybody has of me, but I wouldn't know what that is. So I think one thing we also need to talk about, I think is really important, especially since yesterday, even more important. I don't know if you followed everything that happens here in Europe. You most likely did. Who cares about what would happen here? But the representation, like I think it was Venture brought something completely new to the community that a lot of people recognize themselves in. I have a few people in my community that really resonated with the character.
I'm supposed to tell you thank you from one of my very dear friends who's non-binary, who like figured it out quite recently, and who's like very quickly become a Venture main, and they like feel amazing to be represented, and like they wanted me to tell you thank you. So here's that to you.
Oh, well, thank you. Tell them I said thank you for saying that.
They're going to listen to this, definitely. But I will.
For sure. They already listened to every other episode, but this is going to be one that you're definitely going to download as soon as it's available.
I don't know what happened, unfortunately. I'm on a bit of a social media cleanse right now. For mental health reasons. It is actually Mental Health Awareness Month. So if I missed something, I'm sorry.
It's something positive, but it's in a really weird circumstances. So the Eurozone contest happened yesterday, and it was a huge shitstorm that I'm not going to dive into.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah.
But Switzerland ended up winning, and their name escapes me. Yeah. Nemo. Yeah, and it was Nemo is their name of the artist.
Okay.
And there was another beautiful moment of representation that really kind of resonated for a lot of people. You could see, apart from the whole shitstorm that actually happened around it, it really was a beautiful moment to see that happen. It also brings a lot of visibility and awareness and stuff, but it also brings, I think, in a way, and it was a question that came from someone, and I don't know if it was you or Hannah Frozen that asked this, but like, does this add like pressure to like voicing a character like Venture? I mean, you are definitely aware about this, but kind of how do you deal with that kind of whole thing? If that is a question you want to answer.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Definitely. When I was recording for them, they were, sometimes they make allusions to, I don't know if those lines are out yet, But I think
careful,
the most I
but-
can say, the most I can say is that they make allusions to their identity, or like speak on it. Excuse me. And a lot of the time it was, I wouldn't say fear, but like worry. Funnily enough, worry for like the LGBTQ plus side, where I was like, is this okay for us to say? Like, is this like good and like proper representation? Because something that you don't factor in is that you can also piss off the LGBTQ plus community and the conservative community at the same time, if you do it wrong. So there was a bit of trepidation, but thankfully Blizzard has a really good internal team of honestly just devs who are part of the community, who like weighed in. So if I could speak on their behalf at all, a lot of the times, like we see these as these big corporations and big companies, and a lot of times they are. But as far as the developers themselves, they are literally just people.
Yeah.
So, so they do have, you know, a lot of times they're like, oh, there's this forced representation. Someone must have done something at the company and now, well, first of all, Overwatch has always had queer characters.
Oh, yeah.
And second of all, a lot of the devs are on that part of that community. A lot of the devs are LGBTQ plus, and it is very true to their experiences. And I think that's sick that we can have devs weigh in on characters and influence and affect the game just based on their culture or heritage or identity or that kind of thing. So while there was some trepidation, I also knew that I was in good hands because there were other non-binary folks who were paying attention to the way the lines were written and paying attention to the way the character was being made and represented. So a lot of Venture's influence and creation was overseen by non-binary folks.
Yeah.
So it was felt a little bit better there. As far as them coming out, that was a whole different mess. Again, let's bring it back to Coco Melon. You really shouldn't care about what strangers on the internet say about you. Everyone's always gonna have an opinion. It could be about bread. You could be at the grocery store and then ask someone, "What's your favorite bread?" And there could like be a brawl that breaks out because everyone's got really strong opinions. Maybe especially in America.
Yeah, no, I know bread conversations are big here.
Yeah.
Global thing. This is a bread world, people. This is a bread world.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, it's when they were like, "This is Overwatch's first non-binary character," it was very exciting. But at the same time, I was like, "Oh no!" I know the crowd that this is gonna bring out. Thankfully, on more so on my own posts and my own content, it'll be like 99% positive comments or neutral comments, and the 1% will be someone who like wants attention.
That's a beautiful way of putting it.
So a lot of the negativity hasn't been on my own stuff. So I tend to read only my comment sections because I know everything else is a mess. And to be fair, I'm not that important. Comment sections are like that for everything nowadays.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's a queer issue or if it's bread or there was this big controversy on Twitter because this woman was like, "I like sitting on the porch in the mornings with my husband and drinking tea with him," and everyone was like, "I hate you," and I was like, "That's such an innocent statement."
Yeah. What was the problem? What would they have? I'm really baffled. I want to know.
Come on, like when you sit on the bench, of course Twitter is going to be on fire.
Yeah, I believe it was something to do with the privilege of having a porch and the privilege of having time in the morning to be able to do that.
Okay.
Which is so silly. Also, a lot of people are freelance sometimes. It doesn't mean that they're rich or privileged.
Let's boycott porches, I guess.
I don't know. Boycott porch sitting right now.
Hashtag boycott porches.
So, and the internet is like that about everything. I could bring up I could bring up a very silly topic and it could very easily become this is life
it's
or
the world
death,
in general.
and I will,
Did you ever have like something you posted like without thinking too much about it, or wasn't a big deal to you, and then just Twitter like exploded you?
Oh yeah. I'm on my third cancellation attempt where they've like tried to cancel me.
Do you like at this point? Do you give yourself like little stars? Like, oh my god, I did it again.
Yeah, I've got like a sticker board and I had.
Oh my god, amazing!
No, I just don't take it seriously at this point. Also, it usually brushes over in a week. They think about something else to be angry about, and it ends. People only really are like adamant about canceling someone if they've done something really awful, and usually there's a court trial to go with that kind of thing. At this point, I'm like, okay, here we go again, and it is what it is.
We're back to don't give a fuck what people are saying about you. We always circle that back to that.
About what people on the internet say about you. Yeah, because you could do everything right. Like, and I'm not saying that I do. I'm certainly not a perfect human being, but I'm very respectful to my friends and my peers. I hold the door open for people. I pull out chairs. Like I say yes, ma'am, yes, sir. I tip. I donate to charity. I march. You can do all the things that the folks are like, this is what you need to do to be a good person, and they will still find something to be angry at you for, and that's just sadly, I wouldn't say completely human nature, but maybe for people who don't have anything better to do or care about. But yeah, it's kind of freeing once you discover that it doesn't matter what you do, people will still hate you. It actually is very freeing, because then that just means then I can just do whatever I want. And
exactly.
For me, that is to continue doing what I've always been doing, but maybe not care as much if I'm a perfect member of society. Like enjoy life and make sure that other human beings around me are made better for, or like I'm improving their experience on Earth just by being kind.
That's also just better for your mental health in general. I mean, again, Mental Health Awareness Month, but I mean, if you get to choose if things affect you. Like you can choose hey, I want this to affect me. Like some things, or from some people, it's just not worth being affected by. Like it's of course different if you have closer people telling you things, or like your friends and family. But otherwise, it's hard sometimes. But I think we all should collectively care a bit less about strangers.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Yeah, and just sometimes realize that your opinion is not that important. Like a lot of people have a lot of stuff to say in general. Like especially now, like everybody is yelling at each other. Like I noticed the same thing in Overwatch content. Even if you put out if Overwatch puts out any type of content, you have this one group that hates it and it is going to raise the flag for that opinion, and then there's another group, and then they clash in the middle. And if you're trying to be a neutral voice, which I always try to be, because I have my own opinion, I'm not you get squished in the middle. But like you said, you need to put yourself above that. And who gives a flying fuck what they have to say, and just do your thing. That's basically it. Because it's just getting worse and worse. And I'm sounding like an old man now, but it's really true. Like, I think it has something to do with the fact that I can know what happens on the other side of the world within a second.
Yes. Yeah. We have never had this unprecedented amount of access to not only each other's personal lives, but conflicts everywhere. Whether it be what was going on in France a couple months back, they were I think rioting because they were upset about something.
I know what you mean. I don't know what it was about.
I think also can't remember.
I tuned it out for my own safety. Yes, it's fine.
But now you have access to now you have access to everything going on around the world, and everything going on more so on Twitter in every single person's life.
Yeah.
And also, at the very least in America, economically, the country's not doing great. So people are tired, and they're irritable, and they're angry, and most of us are tired and angry at the big bad people in control, in power. But since we can't do anything about those people, we turn it on each other. And we destroy each other. And the people at the top love seeing that.
That is so true.
That means you're not angry at us anymore. You're all destroying each other. We can continue doing the horrible things we've always been doing. And it's cyclical. And once you take yourself out of that cycle, you can coexist with someone who has differing views from yours.
Yeah.
And people who are not completely like you, and it's fine. Like I'm pretty liberal. I'm pretty, open-minded, but I've been able to coexist with people who are maybe more conservatively minded, or my voice is going.
I think it's time for another sip of your tea.
I think it's time. Oh, I'm out. Wait, but I've
No.
But like we kind of forgot. Even though we are now more connected than ever through the internet, we kind of forgot how to connect with each other as human beings. And I'm trying to like take myself out of the zeitgeist and like work on that again by not being on social media and by just actually connecting in real life with other human beings. Because I feel like as soon as you introduce proper communication, it's like a conversation on the internet that might have been a yelling match. It might have been like, I hate you and I want you dead and all that stuff. In real life, if you like actually communicate face to face and your emotions are on display and that kind of thing, can sometimes often end up a lot better. And we can read each other, or we can try to understand each other. And I think that's something that we have lost through this like constant kind of thing, connection to your screen. So, usually someone would be like, that's a boomer take, but I'm 23, so take that.
I agree. I'm 22. So.
There you go. Yeah, Gen Z. Gen Z. I'm sick of my phone. I'm so sick of it. I'm sorry. I can't even remember what the question was anymore, but it was pretty much
it was perfectly, it wasn't even a question. We kind of ventured into more of a statement thing. And I totally agree with you. And I do think that there is a huge disconnect, and it's not only because we spend too much time online. It's just like you said. I love that. I always feel like when I say shit like that, because I'm Gen X and I'm kind of, my voice is always angry. Old. My voice will always sound angry, but it is definitely like there are people in power that are just kind of, and this is turning into a political thing. And after that, I'm going to stop that. This is still an Overwatch podcast, but that get a huge advantage of us kind of just yelling at each other, basically. And that is why I want to propose something that people over 60 don't get to vote anymore.
Please, thank you. That would be...
So that's why you said you're not going to talk anymore. So I'm not going to speak on that. I'll bring it back to Overwatch for us.
Let's go.
I am someone who plays this game for fun, and I know that blows so many people. People are like, competition, I gotta log in, and I'm trying to, and you left my game and all this stuff. And meanwhile, I'm like, like, ooh, fun character, pew pew pew. So that's my experience with Overwatch. Honestly, I like competitive, I do, but yeah.
Stop taking things so serious. Like every time on stream or off stream anywhere, like people will ask either DM me, anyone. It's like, how can you be so calm when you lose, when you die, anything? And like it always goes back to stop taking it so seriously. It's supposed to be a game to have fun with. To like play with your friends. To like, so sometimes I will just jump into the game, put on some Spotify and like jam to it, no matter how the games go, because it's fun. It is like. Joke around with your friends in it, just do silly things. Like that's like the beauty of Overwatch, how I got to know it. Like I started playing in 2020, rather late, but because I was gifted it, and like we were like sitting in lobbies in the middle of the match, stop playing, everyone like jump off a cliff together, or we're like sitting around emoting to each other in the middle of a game. It's just because we could. Like that's the spirit of Overwatch, like to have fun and not to be like, oh my god, I'm so mad I lost a quick play game. Ooh.
Yes. And for me, that's what video games are. If you're doing competitive, I think that's different because it's in the name. It's competitive and you're trying to compete for something. But at the end of the day, it's a video game. It's a game. It's for fun. Everyone's always so mad. But like one of my fondest memories of Overwatch was, I think it was Overwatch 1. I was in. You know how you can do skirmishes if you're waiting for a game.
Yeah.
You could do the same in Overwatch 1, right? I'm not misremembering.
Yeah. No, skirmish is like.
Yeah. So I was in a skirmish or something like that. And I can't remember who I was playing, but a Genji approached me. And he immediately like had shot his I believe they're shurikens at me, or throwing stars. But I like wasn't attacking him because I was just I was honestly exploring the map and looking at everything. And I hit the like hi emote. And as soon as he saw that, he like stopped attacking. He turned around and he started shooting his throwing stars at a health pack to signify like the health pack is over there. And I healed up. And then we spent the rest of the game emoting at each other. And it was such a wholesome and like cute interaction that I was like, this is Overwatch. Like, this is the experience.
Oh, you're saying things I've been saying for years. I love you for that. It's like, yes, it's that, like, you can not have, like, I feel like that experience is so uniquely Overwatch. It's crazy. Like, yes. I was trying to play competitive with a friend of mine, and I was trying to rank in, so we were white match, like half-hour wait times, and we were in a death match, and at some point, because I made friends with, like, 5 Genjis, in the deathmatch, and I was playing Junker Queen, I was like just kind of harassing him. I was playing with Scorpio, and I was kind of harassing him, like killing him, and all the Genjis helped me with it. And like afterwards, they were like looking at me, like like crouch spamming and doing emotes, and everything. It was so funny. Just because I didn't attack him, I was just like hi and made like some emotes. Like just this group of 5 Genjis, like bodyguards. It was so funny.
That's Overwatch.
Yeah,
100%.
It's true. I mean, over the years it has changed with a lot of new. That's of course also a thing. Like, people join, people leave, but overall, I think a lot of the essence stuck with it, and that is something that is never going to change. And I think it is a huge part due to the people that are working on the game and the way they push the game, but also the heroes. I mean, come on, like I don't even think about it anymore. But the first time ever I saw Overwatch and I saw there was a huge gorilla. It was a scientist. It was like
Winton.
Which type of mushroom have these people eaten? Because this is kind of insane.
Winton.
And then it went, hold my beer, and they gave us a hamster and a ball. And
yes, Hammond or Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, Wrecking Ball, exactly. And now the community is discussing if this hamster in a ball is too strong, or if he's strong enough, and if he's going to be too strong. I'm like, guys, it's a hamster in a ball. Can you not take it too seriously?
Like things that they did with like doesn't hamster in one of those skins, I think in Diablo skin, was he has some
god.
Why would you do that to a little hamster?
Least favorite skin in the entire game.
Why?
It's so gross.
Why would you do that to him?
They once gave him the most epic combination. That was, I don't know if you guys remember this, but he had this one skin where he had sunglasses, and at that same moment they gave him this emote where he looked like the gopher, you know, like the shocked gopher. And he did this dang, dang, dang. And the sunglasses would kind of slowly slide off his face in that emote. So they had to capture that and give him the nip rings. That's why they did that.
Oh, gosh. Oh.
I can't stand that skin. I think I like pretty much every skin in the game. And I'm not like, I don't have a weak stomach. Like, I like creepy, gory, weird. I love weird things. But seeing a little hamster with like nipple rings,
it's just something
exposed is a little too much for me.
It's not supposed to be.
Yeah. And then he has this emote, or I believe it's like a play of the game, like a highlight where he's running on his ball, and you can see his.
Why did they give it jiggle physics?
Jiggling? Why? They gave his girls jiggle physics, and I was like, "Y'all, what are y'all cooking?"
They were definitely on.
I'm sorry to whoever designed that. But I think they did it on purpose. Like, I think that was their intended reaction.
Look, I mean, something like that. Lean into it. Just make
of course.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you design something and you know it's horrible, like you know it's horrific, and you know you're like committing an act against God, but you just do it. Sometimes you have to do it.
You gotta do it to him. No, that's a very funny skin, but it's so nasty.
It is. But that is the level of Overwatch. That is typically Overwatch, where you have a hamster, and we're discussing the nip rings on the hamster. Come on, what other
correct? Yeah, it's not. You know, don't take it so seriously. There's a hamster with nipple rings. There's Winston.
Exactly. By the way, last question because I just looked at the clock and we're already way over an hour now. You said you loved the Blizzard games before Overwatch released. Did you play any of the other Blizzard games before?
Yeah. So before Overwatch released, I think Hearthstone released.
Oh yeah, long time ago.
It might have released before Overwatch.
Yeah, it did before Overwatch. Yeah.
I don't know if I played Hearthstone before Overwatch, but I play Hearthstone. I've been playing Hearthstone for a long time. World of Warcraft. That is my bread and butter. I'm trying to look around if it's in the room with me. I have World of Warcraft books. I have figures. I've been playing it since 2008. So I'm a November baby. So usually the year that I start doing something, so I would have been 7.
Playing World of Warcraft as a 7-year-old? Damn.
I did that too.
Yeah. I didn't understand the game, so I never completed a quest as a kid.
Scared? Were you scared of the monsters? That's the question.
I was scared of the higher level ones, and for me that was like a saber cat, or I don't know what they're called, but because I would make a night elf. I would explore the beginner area. I don't know if it's Darnassus or where that beginner area is. And then I didn't really know how to play the game. So I would role play in the game with other characters, but I was level 2 and I would get killed by anything outside of the starter zone because I didn't know how to play the game as a kid. Obviously, as I got older, I knew how to complete quests and level up and all that.
I got to level 7 with fishing.
Heck let's go!
Just fished because I was scared of the monsters. I just fished and fished until I was level 7.
Yeah, they can be pretty scary. World of Warcraft is she is the love of my life.
Nice.
I'm still waiting to get in that game.
There's a lot more characters. There's a lot more options to get in.
Yes. Honestly, the one of the things that are working against me is that World of Warcraft doesn't really have any children characters or younger characters.
Okay.
Most of the characters are adults, so most of the voice actors that they hire have naturally kind of adult voices.
Yeah.
And I have a little baby voice, so I'm waiting for them. I'm putting it out there. I've talked to a couple of the devs. They know this already. My dream is to be a gnome in World of Warcraft.
Oh my god!
One of those little gnomes. I can't do it right now. My voice is so shot. I want to be a gnome. I'm putting it out there. But yeah, I've been playing World of Warcraft for a long time, and we've had a turbulent relationship, she and I. Sometimes we're on, sometimes we're off. Sometimes I come back to her in the middle of the night and she's like, well, look who's here,
The World of Warcraft booty call.
Honestly, yeah. And then I pay her to spend some time with her.
That's an interesting relationship.
I fucking... Oh, are we...
No, it's fine. It's fine. Trust me. I censored myself earlier as a joke, but I fucking curse plenty, so don't worry about it.
Great. I fucking love World of Warcraft. I am such a fan. Honestly, even when I didn't understand the game or how to do quests, what drew me in was the world building and the storyline and the beautiful zones and environments. Obviously, the 2008 graphics were 2008 graphics. Yeah, but in my mind, I was you know what I mean, right?
For us back then, it was crazy. Yeah,
it
was amazing.
So, and that's something that has consistently brought me back is the new stories and the characters and the depth with which a lot of these characters and worlds are built with. And I said I'm a passionate storyteller. I'm a dungeon master. I have my own homebrew worlds, and huge inspiration was World of Warcraft because I just love.
Nice.
I love when a human mind is set free to create, and they create something cool and fun and new.
Yeah, you created the
Yeah, Icewind Dale, Rime of the
Frost Maiden.
Right? Rime of the Frost Maiden. Yeah. I'm not even gonna. I did this before. I can't remember what I did it on, what show I did it on, but I had pulled out
Nice.
my D&D book. These are 3 out of. I have so many right here next to me, but yeah.
Good collection.
I love role playing. I love storytelling. I love, and why wouldn't I? It's at the core of our roots as human beings when we would sit around a fire in a cave and go ooh and tell each other stories with paintings and fire on the wall. We're storytellers.
It's a way of survival. It's the way that we survived back in the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. This was a very interesting conversation. Do you have an extra question for us? I think it's going to be D&D related. It's going to be
No,
D&D.
do it.
It's not D&D related. That may become later afterwards. But we had a little joke, and because I'm apparently unable to pronounce things correctly, but I had a little request for you to maybe, I don't know if your voice is up to it, but like the voice line of Venture of tastes like dirt, maybe like tastes like bees.
Bees?
Yeah, we had a thing in the stream where I wanted to say beans.
Oh God, I forgot about this.
But he understood beans like as beans, and apparently that escalated into bees. And then no one could tell what I was saying. Like I was trying to like explain everything, but like these 3 words were like, what is she saying now? And I didn't understand because I think I'm saying them correctly. But yeah, that joke happened. And
taste like bees. Is that like bzz, like the flying?
Yeah,
thing?
yeah. Like
See, you get my point. You get my point exactly. It's really difficult. It's your beams,
I'm gonna
bees.
cry.
What is going on here?
I'm gonna cry.
I streamed with Boger, and this will be a little tangent, and then I'll do the voice line for you. Gosh, it seemed really rude. They all thought I was roasting him, but it was on the most recent stream where he was saying I was talking smack, and he was like, how are you even talking? You're 3-1, bro. You're 3-1. Because or there's something like that, or you're 1-3. You're 1-3. Like I gotten 1 kill, I died 3 times. But he has like the Bulgarian accent. He was like, "You're 1-3, bro. You're 1-3," and he pronounces his ths with f's.
Yeah.
Which is totally fine. I love accents. I think they're awesome in linguistics, but we won't go into that right now. And I was a little under an influence of some sort.
Yeah.
So I was not all there, and I was like, what is that? Like Free? And I was like, there's an anime called Free. And I was like mulling it over in my head, and I was like, oh my God, you said 3. And all the catty gays were like, ha 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 ha, you roasted him. And I was like, no, I wasn't trying to. I literally didn't understand his accent at the moment.
I think that was the stream I watched. I'm pretty sure that
Yes.
was I remember this.
I watched that too.
I was like, no, I wasn't trying to be mean this time.
This time was genuine.
This time. Yeah. I did feel bad. I did, because I
think he can take it. He can take it.
I love roasting people. I don't like making fun of something that someone can't control. So that I was like, no,
Thank you so much. Tell that to the stream.
I will. Y'all listen to this right now. Okay, so okay, let's. Venture's just my voice. They're just a little bit more excitable. Venture. Okay. Tastes like bees.
That was amazing. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
My voice is a little crunchy, but yeah.
That was amazing.
We couldn't tell. That was perfect. There's a lot of people that are going to be happy.
Every time someone teases me that I'm going to send them that clip.
Yeah, it seems that the whole bees, beans, beams story is going to continue next week. Valeria, thank you very much for being here. It was a pleasure talking to you. We went over time, but it didn't feel like it. It was a very interesting talk. And yeah, I mean, first, I don't know if you have any final questions.
I don't think so. Maybe for later. But yeah, not now.
For later? That sounds
our
like
saga. Our 5-episode saga. Yeah.
It is a pleasure to have you in the community. And I look forward to whatever is going to be coming for Adventure. They're a very interesting character. I look forward to seeing that little video you made with Torbjörn and what that is going to be about, all that stuff. So I can't wait to see it. Where can people find you? Like you're not on social media right now. You're not active, but say that someone is like, oh, I really want to kind of follow Valeria. Where can they find you?
Yes, I will be active again. Probably not soon. Maybe after Mental Health Awareness Month. But you can find me on Twitter at Elvis Badger. Don't ask me how I made that name. It's a story.
I was going to ask.
I made it when I was very young, and I refused to change it. And you can find me on Instagram at Valeria Rodriguez VO. You can find me on YouTube at Valeria the Wolf or Twitch at Valeria the Werewolf. Yes, I have different handles on every social media. I make it very easy, and everyone who represents me loves it. And pretty soon, if I may drop something of my own.
Oh yeah, definitely.
At the Striker Society, I think, or at Striker Society, one of those. I am releasing a actual play sci-fi D&D show where I am the dungeon master. So please support it. Our first episode is really dinky. We had a ton of mic issues. Our cameras aren't fantastic, but we have a dream. So if you want to support that dream, I would appreciate it. But otherwise, thank you both so much for having me on. I had a blast. I also honestly did not notice that we had gone over time, so I had a great time.
That is always a good sign. Glad that it was mutual. All right. We'll look into that. Definitely Frozen. She is a community dungeon master, so she's
I'm
cool. I wish we talked about that.
I kind of. I'm going to be honest. I kind of avoided to say that somewhere in the middle because I knew it would have gone into something that.
Oh yes, it would have been a D&D podcast.
I held myself back too. So.
Yeah, that's
and that's why I kind of avoided to say, but I wanted to at least. I mean, she does an amazing job. But yeah, we'll talk again, and maybe one day we'll meet up. Let's go wherever. Thank you very much, Valeria.
I would love that.
Take care.
Thank you.